I'm joined on the Silverstone Classic stage now by a very busy man, a man who is charged with looking after the home of the Silverstone Classic, the spiritual home of motor racing here in the UK. Richard Phillips, Managing Director of Silverstone Circuit. A very busy time for you, isn't it? Because there is a lot of work going on at Silverstone at the moment with the major sort of revamp of the pit and paddock area.
Yeah, I mean, we've had a very busy 2 years really. So last year we built the new circuit, extended Stowe, and started on the pit complex, and we're opening it officially on the 17th of May. So it's quite an interesting time for us.
I was lucky enough to have a tour around the new pit building a couple of months back. It really is going to be quite spectacular, isn't it? It's huge in comparison to the old paddock, pits and paddock building.
Yes, I mean, I think when we were, because it's like a skyscraper on its side, when we were looking at it in the planning stage, none of us quite appreciated how big it was. And now we're all kind of walking and thinking, oh my God, you know, what have we built? But it's a magnificent building, beautiful building, and it's multitasking as well. So we're really looking forward to the opening and getting into it.
So what you say multitasking, what makes it so different to the previous facility? What are you now going to be able to do there that you haven't been able to do previously?
Oh, this one is, besides having a state-of-the-art media centre, it's obviously got a much more sophisticated race control in it, but it's got a lot of sort of hospitality, conference, exhibition space in it as well. So it's about 16,500 square metres altogether, the whole building. It's just over 380 metres long, so it's a beast of a thing with its own energy centre and generator power, and it's magnificent.
It's such a different story to, when was it, about 18 months ago, when, you know, it looked as if the British Grand Prix was heading off to Donington, and you really have turned the situation around, haven't you?
Well, it's turned around. Whether it was me or not is a different matter. I think it's a whole team of people responsible for that. But yes, I mean, we've been through some pretty interesting times. I mean, in 2008, when the announcement was made on the Friday of our Grand Prix that the event was going to move to Donington, that was an awful shock to us. And you know, thank heavens we've managed to get it back, and we're delighted with that. And 17 years or 16 years more to run made a huge difference to us. It's given us that opportunity to invest in the premises and get Silverstone up to a sort of world-class standard.
Well, the Silverstone Classic will be one of the biggest events that you host at the circuit each year, isn't it? So an important event to have for you.
Yes, I mean, the Silverstone Classic is what Silverstone's about, really, isn't it? I mean, you've got, you know, the BRDC, you've got a club which is unique in the world, some of the greatest drivers that have ever lived, part of that club, and it's huge heritage. You know, the circuit just goes back 60 years. Last year was our anniversary, and we have to celebrate that at least once a year, and the Classic is a fantastic way of doing that. What
do you think it is about the event that makes it so special and so popular?
Well, I think it's like a festival of classic sport, isn't it? It's because people can get engaged in it in a number of different ways. A lot of the public will come in and look at the cars and the memorabilia and so on and so forth. But you can actually go on and see them racing on an authentic motor, you know, Grand Prix circuit. So it's a totally engaging event, and I think people really like that. People like to get in amongst things.
It's the 21st anniversary this year of the event taking place at Silverstone. How has it grown over that time?
Well, I mean, some of it predates me, I have to say. But it's certainly developing now into a proper, real international event, recognised on the international calendar, and I think it's maturing into, you know, people really want to go there and race in it, and the grids are growing, and the variety of the different cars and the different races, and it really is developing in a beautiful way now. And I think with the developments now and the new pits, because obviously they'll be operating out of 2 centres this year, that's going to be quite unique. And I can just see it building from strength to strength in the future.
I suppose this will be a rare opportunity as well for people, for the general public, to get in and have a look at the new pit building, because, you know, certainly it's not something you can do if you're there for the Grand Prix or another event like that, is it?
Certainly the Grand Prix is a bit of a no-no, isn't it? I mean, Bernie does tend to keep people out. Yes, it is, and I think people will be delighted with what they see when they come, and all the other changes that are happening around the circuit. And perhaps they can be able to see by that time the plans we've got for the future. Yeah, it's and it's worth a look as well. That building, it is quite spectacular.
You mentioned that people can get up close and see the cars at the Silverstone Classic. Does the event, is it really for pure racing enthusiasts, or do you think it has a wider appeal?
I think it has a wider appeal than that, really. I mean, I'm of a sort of age where I can remember some of these cars being on the track, and I think motorsport when I was younger maybe had a wider appeal perhaps than it does now. Hopefully that appeal is coming back. But yes, I think it has a bigger appeal than just people who you know, can afford or actually race in the cars or own the cars. It has a very great connection with the general public. And there's lots of people that identify with the characters, you know, the great heroes of the past and those vehicles, and can remember seeing them.
Some great cars on the bill at the Classic this year. Obviously, Jaguar is celebrating the 50th anniversary of the E-Type. That's going to be something quite special, isn't it?
Yeah, scarily. I can remember when the E-Type was brand new on the chocks. So I'm not sure how I feel about that.
You were just a boy, really. I'm sure.
Yeah, of course I was. Yeah, absolutely was a boy. Yes, it's, you know, obviously with Jaguar, and Jaguar seem to be supporting motorsport in a great way now. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting year, and I'm really looking forward to the event.
From a car perspective or a race perspective, which appeals to you most? Is it the historic Formula Ones, the Group Cs perhaps? Which do you like best?
I have a penchant for the Group Cs, actually. I like the sort of bigger, meatier sports cars. Open wheels don't quite do it for me, but that's just my personal... apart from F1, of course. But yeah.
Group C was missing from the bill at the Classic last year. It's making a return this year, so presumably you'll be a very welcome return as far as you're concerned. They are fantastic cars to see out on track, aren't they? And no better place to see them than at Silverstone.
Yeah, I think on a big track like Silverstone, big grid that they can produce, and you know, they're big meaty cars, and they just, you know, the whole place sort of vibrates when they get on the circuit, and that's it's incredible.
Looking forward to seeing you there, and thanks for talking to us today.
You're very welcome.